What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Throwing Tantrums, Halloween edition. I'm Existential Owl. Let's get started. How you guys doing?
Existential Owl.
Okay, I'll start off with, I guess, any paranormal stories. I feel like are we tapped out of paranormal stories with you, Crystal?
I don't think ever. Okay, probably. Yeah, I mean, that's the craziest one, the Slender Man.
Yeah.
You told that for the last one?
Well, I've had more recent ones, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were in my house. Yeah.
And I was hoping to feel her.
Yeah, I've been seeing it.
I mean, yeah, if we're talking about seeing things as adults, yes, we see this place all the time.
Wait, what do you see here?
All the time. Normal. Huh? I got friends here.
Your child.
Like, a child. Forgot you had a child.
Honestly, that would be me as a parent.
Like,
you're mine. I made you.
Yeah. I do have another. So we'll go through. But I have a cutesy, not scary one.
Oh, a cutesy one. Damn, was a ghost like flirting with you?
Cutesy.
Damn. She was alive.
You're like,
duty.
Girl, I got that ghost dick.
Why are ghost butts so sexy? It's like I got that dog in me. I got that ghost in me.
Oh! That reminds me of like Ghostbusters. You know, like that scene where like not like that, not like that.
And an OnlyFans near you.
I am so dead. Imagine like spooky, like for your OnlyFans, like getting fucked by a ghost. But it's just like
they have that in porn.
But
I'm sure
they would.
Sure.
It's like,
look, there's a niche for everything in
No, but I want it to be invisible.
Yeah, fucking a ghost. It's actually the person that just ghosted you. Is like, oh, you're not here though. So because you ghosted me.
Wow.
Got my eye on you.
Wow.
Does this mean I fucked a ghost?
Oh shit.
Damn.
Okay, so
it really be
my experience at Noelle's.
Happy Halloween.
It was 3-ish a.m. maybe 4. No, we've had this habit of sleeping in the living room lately, and I was looking at the window, like just thinking about work, all the things
as usual,
and then all of a sudden, I like in my mind's eye, it was looking the other way. It was looking the opposite way. So like, say,
he has a Byakugan.
Yeah, you can see behind your head.
Yeah. That's just called being a parent.
So, hey, put that down.
What are you holding? A knife.
No.
But yeah, like either like, I was looking at the window. I was like, it was I was fully aware of like, I'm looking at the window right now. But in my head, I see the hallway.
That's so creepy.
So I'm just looking at it, and then I wish I could stand up and show you how like I saw this thing come out of the literal dark in the hallway, but it came out like peeked through.
Oh no! Like,
and then it peeked through, and it kind of like fucking moved into and then just slowly eased in. Oh shit! You should have stayed asleep.
You should have stayed asleep.
No, bro, like you see that, and then you're like, For those of you that are listening, we're popping right now.
Impromptu session right there with a
You're
ghost.
like, shit. And she's like, and then you're like, shit. You start breaking. And then Lauren's like, what is going on?
Lauren wakes up like, okay.
She's like, are we trying to battle? Are we battling? She starts twerking. Say less.
Yeah, like the way it just walked in and just eased and just stood there. It had a very like old Victorian style dress.
That is creepy.
Was it like?
I remember what it looked like.
Did it look scary?
Well, this first time I saw it, it had a veil over its head. I could only see like it was like Darth Sidious. I could only see the mouth for a bit.
Oh.
And it was like. It was an old person because they're just kidding. Not old people do this, but their mouth was hanging open.
That's messed up.
I want to make sure not to do that when I'm old.
Yeah, right.
But like,
Emeroy was wrong.
I do remember admiring the Victorian dress because it was black, red, and it had like little like stud like.
She's a goth mommy.
And had studs and whatnot. It had
She's
roses.
my goth mommy.
I was like, wow, that's pretty. But yeah, I'm also freaked out.
Well, you said that.
I'll have what you're having.
Came into the room and then it like stood in the living room, like in the center of the living room, just watching us.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I was just laying down.
What a voyeur,
looking,
right?
Still looking.
She's like,
looking at the.
she's like, do something.
But it was, my mind's out.
Do something.
I'm like,
oh my god.
this is where like I have a hard time. Like, is it my imagination? Is it just am I actually seeing things? Because I've had a lot of experiences like that, or it's hard because it's just me. It's an individual.
And then
experience.
she was like, "Take it off."
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You bitch.
Yeah.
She's like, do it.
Pull
Do
down
the
your pants.
thing.
Pull down your pants.
Oh my god.
Do the thing.
Like,
Okay.
I mean, I told you.
Do
it was
something.
Like, oh,
Oh God.
Go ahead.
Oh no.
I told you because like, I was like, you know what? Maybe just accept that you do see these things, and they are spirits, or sometimes, or there's like the more I feel like you keep denying yourself, and I'm like, just accept it, yeah, because it's this. Well, one after that, and then there was the second time that the same spirit came.
You're gonna need to
More
just
recently?
listen.
Like
You're gonna have to
yesterday?
start to listen.
Yeah.
To what they're trying to
Because there was a second
Tell her to come
time
talk to me.
that you said the spirit came through, and you said it looked angry.
I'm trying to
wow.
remember.
What did you do?
Oh, the other night where I kept turning the. It wasn't angry. Oh, it was.
Yeah,
it
you
was.
said it had this like.
If I finally saw its face.
Yeah.
It's the veil was back. I'm trying to remember, but I do remember just seeing the instance of it. Just again, same strong, like stance. But this time it was like, just I don't know.
Mad
just-
dogging you.
Yeah, like
Damn.
He's really trying to battle.
Just-
She is trying to battle. She's trying to battle.
hey, fool.
She starts crumping.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
She's like, I came here because you're a dancer. What the fuck?
I thought
There's this
you
sweet,
wanted
sweet Victorian
to battle.
She starts waltzing.
I'm waiting.
Finish ends with a curtsy, like.
It's like, I paid big ghost
After
bucks.
doing like a head spin. She does a head spin, then curtsies.
What a move!
Yeah.
Actually,
Yes.
what a
But
move.
the
I
more
do wanna
recent
see
one,
that in a
I think
battle.
That
was a couple days ago.
a couple nights ago.
Yeah, I was awake. You were watching TV, and I was tense. I everything was bright. Like just say like the hallway, just like there was this and like a gradient shadow there. That's where it was just chilling at. It was just there, just chilling. But this time it had its veil on. And then
Veil off.
It was
On,
It was
like-
on.
Oh, it's
Yeah, I
on.
couldn't see the face.
Yeah.
It
So
was
this is
just
a different
there.
instance.
Yeah, like
This
a
was a
couple
couple
So you
months
keep
ago.
saying the same thing. That's just you.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, how it's.
You gotta just listen. see
Yeah.
what
So
it
and then
wants.
that night, because she was like, "Yeah, how you doing?" Like I'm, like, you know, I was tense and like nervous. I'm like, I don't know how to feel right now. You're watching Bob's Burgers. I'm looking up. Am I fucking crazy? No, I'm looking at.
Alexa, stop. It's a lasagna.
Oh, is it? Do you need to check on that?
Mm-mm. I'll put a lid on in a little bit.
Okay, but yeah. I mean, I still am skeptic of it, but like throughout the whole good chunk of that night, I usually go through the hall like never having turned on the lights. I was turning on the lights a lot that night because before I went in, I'm like, boom, okay, let's scoot you further back. Go to the bathroom. Yeah, you have space now.
No, and also think about when you see this person, what are you thinking about to yourself when it happens? Because sometimes they're there to try to instill a message like, hey, like that's what you need to be doing.
No,
So
I'm not
if you're-
thinking any.
if
I'm just
you're
like
avoiding something or something you should be doing, like
No.
Are you just
most-
like in awe most of the time, or like you're just so like taken in by your sight?
Yeah, most of the time, like I said when we're watching scary stuff, I see them like in the corner of my eye all the
Mhm.
time. And if I look directly, it's not there, but they're there.
your guides,
So,
your guides,
my
Guides.
guides.
Your guides.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
like
Wait,
always
so-
there.
So do
Yeah.
you see things right now?
No.
You sure?
No.
I feel like they only
Looks-
my knowledge is they only come when they need to remind you of something. Like there's something you're supposed to be doing, you're second guessing something, you're avoiding
Bitch, I already know I need to
something.
get back to work.
And like that's why like they say when you have these visions or when they come out to you, you're supposed to think about what were you thinking about before you saw them? Were you stressed that day about something before you saw them? Because they're trying to put you in a certain direction. They're trying to steer you in a certain direction.
I mean, the
when
only
they
thing
come up.
I'm aware of, I was like, man, I should sleep.
That's true.
But also because I pulled an all-nighter Monday, Tuesday. So and then I was just tired and just needed to catch up on sleep. But even then, the messaging between these weeks were all like just a bunch of stuff that was just different. So, and half the time it's not like that's the thing. Like when I see these things, it's not like I'm Googling and researching Victorian dresses for a freaking video. Just why am I seeing this random thing that I did research and it just popped up. Yeah, so I don't know.
Interesting.
Oh my god, should we look at the history of?
That's what I was doing the other night. Too.
Really?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the history is in this area. So I found nothing.
Oh.
Yeah. But no, that's the thing. I'm like, I don't know because I'm one person. Like with the other ones that were more intense, where I saw the things like the exorcism story, I had 2 other people to help corroborate the story.
But the thing is that if you think about it historically, there wouldn't be because you say Victorian dresses, but maybe it might just be something similar. But literally didn't have white people in the West until way later.
Yeah.
Because of the migration or whatever, and then when they came over, they were cowboys.
Yeah.
So it's just I wonder. I don't know if it's actually Victorian
Or something with a bodice.
basically
there are stories and theories of there are portals from to go from one place to the other. There's also I think I remember hearing this. Most spirits are often disguised as demons.
Oh.
Or demons are often disguised as spirits.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like demons.
Yeah. So
that's literally the only way to actually scare me when it comes to movies and stuff is demon shit. I came from a Catholic background. Fuck them demons. No.
Not in the fun way.
Not in the fun way.
No incubuses and succubuses, please.
No,
those are terrible buses.
These are terrible buses.
I would not ride those buses.
I mean, I'm just kidding. Anyway.
A regular bus. Oh, there's something this side.
Oh my god!
Shit. But yeah, demons are a no-no. Everything else in horror movies, oh shit, a serial killer, whoa. And then, but then
You said it.
serial killer, whoa. Or ooh, a monster, lake monster, I'm haha. And then some demon shit. Hell no, get me the fuck out of here. Nah, I'm leaving. See you later. I ain't playing with that shit. I don't even want to watch that shit because it feels like it's gonna invite that shit.
Yeah. Same with aliens. That's it. They know.
Oh.
Demons and aliens.
Aliens.
They have this intelligence, and I feel like they're all connected in a way.
They just hanging out in the other fucking
In the plane.
In the plane.
Fucking, this dumbass crystal that's so fuck around.
Oh my god!
let's fuck with Crystal.
Here's my thing though. I don't know. Do these things just choose who to appear to? Because I have never seen or felt anything. But there was one time in high school we went on my high school went on a retreat. It was a very Catholic retreat, and so all of these retreat places have their own urban legend, ghost stories or whatever. So apparently there was one behind me that my friend saw.
So your friend saw it.
My friend saw it, and she was like, "You couldn't feel that?" Because literally she was like this.
Yeah. So it was there to
Fuck
give
that,
her the
dude.
message.
And I was just chilling.
You didn't feel their titty on you?
I didn't feel her titty on me. Apparently she had big titties.
Oh shit!
yeah.
What up, ghost?
She had the mommy milkers. She had the mommy milkers.
Ghost mommy milkers?
Yeah. Because someone saw it was in the same room as me, and it was right behind me, almost touching me, basically touching me. But I'm I don't.
Yes.
I didn't feel that. And I was is it me?
I mean, are they scared of me?
Do you often feel very self-reassured in your decisions? Do you go back and forth in your own head a lot? But even anxiety said when you come to your decisions, I mean, how do you feel you make the right decisions often, or have you lived your life feeling like you've made wrong decisions and you have a lot of regrets that make you second guess yourself?
I second guess everything I do.
Yeah, huh? So I feel like
That is the
that's
one thing I am sure of. I second guess everything I do.
To guide you. Where you guys at?
I know. Where are these
Maybe
bitches at?
guys are hello, Maxine, and then she's over here taking her anxiety pills.
I know. Okay, well, I only started on Prozac last year. So.
But it's interesting. you know, like just reminds you of like Avatar. You know, the chakras and all of it was blocked.
I'm
There's
sorry, which Avatar, Blue or
The
Last
Airbender.
ATLA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actual Avatar.
Atla, okay.
Yeah. Where his chakras were blocked and that he couldn't access his avatar state.
Yeah.
So maybe like there's
Are
something
my
blocking.
chakras
Yeah,
Yeah, there could be a blockage.
Yeah, because
Don't
have you
worry,
been?
I got
have
you.
Let's go. It's interesting. A lot of times too, you have to invite. Like I've been told, you have to accept it and invite them in to hear the
Hell,
message.
fuck no,
like,
man.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, yeah, I want to see this, but like, don't invite it in. I'm like, well, I don't know.
Emeroy's like, shut the fuck up, guides.
Meanwhile, I'm like,
Don't tell me
where
what to
are
do.
you?
Don't tell me what to do.
Help me.
You're not my dad. Good.
I'm like, help me.
Well, like
I need guidance.
well, my mom sees stuff too.
Therapy is
She's just like
expensive.
every time I see someone passing by, I just do a prayer and like they're not gonna.
Yeah,
know
me
it.
too. Yeah,
So I'm like, I just would rather. Well,
yeah.
it's
Just
cool. But
acknowledge.
it's like, I think it's a cool party trick, but it's like.
God.
But it's like I'd much rather like not, because that's the thing. It's I feel like it's a gateway to like okay, one sees like wow how I don't. And then more comes and tries to hang out, and I can't work because they're hanging out on my
always
couch
around.
and drinking beer and shit.
There's like so there's this anime, I'm forgetting the name, but basically she can see spirits, but she has to pretend she can't see them because most of them are like kind of grotesque, but that's only because like say for example like they're staying on Earth for a reason, right? But then once their souls put to rest, like they look like their normal selves, right? But the thing is, okay, so like she has to pretend to not see them because then they'll be like, "Oh, I can talk to you," and then they'll start following her around,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm trying to.
That's like that one movie with the boy.
Oh,
and
The Sixth Sense?
The Sixth Sense.
No, not that one. Not that one. A newer one that was actually really good, kind of underrated. But it's like these. Like, they look like they're covered in black oil, and when they see that you can see them, they will basically like end you.
Attach.
But so he's like in
Oh.
a coffee shop, and there's a chick he likes, and he sees it, and it's just like creeping by, and it's like in his face, and looking at him, and he's just like dead, like tunnel vision, like don't look at it, and it's just like sniffing, and it's terrifying. Oh my god, what is it?
Wow,
Here,
we should watch that.
I need that.
Wait,
I'll
I
find a
saw
clip.
like a clip of that on TikTok.
And
then,
it's
yeah.
it's
Wow.
one of those movies not everybody's watched, but it's like you got it. It's okay.
Okay.
Y'all
I
keep
need
talking.
that.
I'm gonna get the name.
I feel
Yeah.
like that it's like yeah.
Yeah, my cousin Yvette, like she was. So my great grandmother had this like giant house like in the Philippines that like that anyone who's like visiting our
Oh,
hometown
man,
has
Philippines,
stays.
makukulam everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So apparently there's a bunch of spirits there that like,
Oh,
my
yeah.
cousin has seen, and one of them actually saved her life because she was on a bed. She was a baby. She was on the bed, and she like rolled over because she's a roly baby, and she was about to fall head first, but apparently like her landing was so soft.
Oh.
It was a little
Wow.
too soft.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I was just like, oh. And then, because everybody that because I've, spent a couple nights at that house, and I spent a night by myself in the house, and people were like, are you okay? Did you see anything? I'm like, no, I just slept like a baby.
Yeah.
And then like, me and my cousin were joking around. I think you were in the conversation too.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, they're probably scared of her.
It's almost like, there's a certain aspect of where people are in terms of abilities. Like, for example, basketball. Like, some people are just naturally born and gifted with it. Some people have to really work at it.
Yeah.
So it's probably like one of those quote unquote gifts that I have. I just because again, it's like if I'm afraid of a fictional movie, what am I inviting to something that's real in my life?
Yeah.
Especially after seeing an exorcism
Fair.
for real. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Not the giggle. I'm seeing an exorcism. Like I'm so dead. I'm so dead. My only like actual one that I remember, it was a house that we moved into, just me, my mom, and my stepdad, 2 doors down from where I grew up, and we like kind of remodeled the house and everything, and then for a while there was always just like noises, like just like things like noises in places where people were not, and it was just like there it goes again. It's so weird, like. And the thing is, it's not that my family doesn't believe in spirits. We were, at that time, Christian. Because my mom converted, from Catholicism to Christianity. Therefore, I had to as well. And so it was like, we were like, oh, we don't invite this energy, etc., praying and stuff. And so it continues, and sometimes my room is by the front door where there's a door and there's also a gate. And so normally my family, we always just go through the garage because the adults have the garage door opener and they can just walk through the garage instead of going through the front door, which has a gate and a door, right? So my stepdad would work like late, like kind of graveyard shift, and sometimes me and my mom would wait for him to come home, maybe around 11. And I remember hearing the gate rattling because that means someone is trying to open it. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, I think Dad's home. And so I go to the door, and I'm like, I like look through, and like nobody's there. And I'm like,
fuck.
I'm like, Mom, come here. And she's like, what is it? Where's your dad? And I'm like, there's no one at the door. And then she's like, she opens the door. I'm like, oh, hell no. I'm like, I like back up. I'm like, nah. And she's like,
farewell.
Farewell, mother.
I say.
And then she was like calling his name. And then she's like, she like texts him. And he's like, oh, I'm still driving home. Like, I'm like,
oh, nope.
And then I'm like, I'll sleep with you, Mom. See you later.
My God.
And then the next time, I kept experiencing things in my room, but my parents weren't experiencing anything in their room. It was like only my room. Like, and so there were like little things, but the one thing I do remember was one time, like I had like pretty bad insomnia in middle school, because this is when I was there in that house in middle school, and I had to always have something on the TV for me to go to sleep. So, like, my TV had a sleep timer. I just put the timer on to play something. Yeah. So I'm turned towards the wall on my bed, trying to fall asleep. And then what I hear is the door opening. So I assume it's my mom, like, trying to get me to go to sleep, right? And then I feel I'm, like, turned on my side. I feel, like, on my shoulder, like, a hand. And then it wasn't like it held there. It just like the hand took my right shoulder and then pulled me to look towards the door.
No way.
And then I immediately thought it was my mom. So I was like, Mom. And then no one was there.
No Get
the fuck out.
No one was there. And I was like, nope. And then I like immediately got up. I turned off my shit. I ran across the fucking hallway. And like the hallway is always dark. So I run, sprint, open the door, close the door. I go into my parents' bed and I'm like, I'm sleeping here. And then they're like, honey, what's wrong? I'm like, no. And then so my parents, I like tell them about it. And it's to the point that I had a Twilight Jacob Black poster in my room. But he's like, Twilight's kind of dark and angsty. And so he's kind of like looking
with his muscles,
like very. What is it?
He's looking with his muscles.
He's looking with his muscles, and then like smoldering. So I had that poster in there, but we had that poster in there before this happened, and then they were like, I was having different occurrences, so they're like, you need to change your poster. I think I think that's like
Taylor
has
Lautner's
bad.
fault.
Like Taylor Lautner was like the fault of like like the spirits in my fucking room, like or something. And so like
fuck this movie.
Yeah, so they made me change it, and I had a Tokidoki poster on there.
Yay.
And it's super cute, But then my parents, after what happened with like the shoulder thing, they were like, I think it's something on this poster. And it was like, she had a tattoo that just had like a little oni. So like an oni is like a Japanese demon.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's that. And she made me put a Tokidoki sticker on the girl's arm on the poster to hopefully relieve this spiritual activity. It didn't like relieve it per se. It was my room. I had to just get over it. You know what I mean? And I was just like, it's okay. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
But we ended up moving out because we got the house foreclosed. So
dang it.
yeah, and we moved back to my grandma's house.
That definitely reminds me of the parents blaming mainstream
Your
shit.
media.
Yeah, no, because Hocus Pocus 2 that recently came out.
Oh yeah.
There was this lady on the news saying that it's inviting other spirits just by watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm just telling parents that she was trying to
Warn them.
warn them.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, okay, the whole thing about you going to your parents' room, like, what would you do?
Oh, yeah.
If Nora came to you and was like, hey,
Yeah.
there's something in there.
I'd say sleep with me. I'd get some sage. I'd call her aunties. We would come over and we would do a spiritual cleanse. And I would ask them to please leave her alone. I try my best to protect her because I know I would believe it. I believe her, and I just take care because we're here. I believe in it. I feel like that energy when we leave, it's going somewhere. Our energy is going somewhere. And I do believe in spirits. I do believe that there is something next. And I've seen enough. My mother's seen. My mother saw her grandmother right after her grandmother passed. They were very close. And my mother says when she was young, it was like a day after her grandma passed, and she saw her just standing at the end of her bed, clear as day. So my mom believes in spirits. We believe in spirits.
I feel like it's such a common occurrence for young kids to see deceased family members.
Okay, so I have something. It's so controversial. But so they say to ask your children when they're young because when they're really young, they're closest to the veil. They just came from the ether or whatever. So they.
Sorry to before you continue. You reminded me when I would show Jordan his newborn videos, he would freak out.
His what videos?
His newborn. He was like, no. He would freak the fuck out until I think 5.
Wow.
As if I guess it's
traumatic state.
How traumatic it is going from being born.
Yeah.
And he wasn't of where we are now. He was still connected in that way. I was like, something about being born and in this world is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't ask to
be born.
It is scary. I hate it here, man.
Is the hospital do returns?
Oh God.
Can I go back?
It was a cute video, and he'd be like, no. You'd be
like when you mean newborn, you mean he's just you're holding him,
literally,
or his birth.
He was
not the birth.
On the scale.
Yeah.
And because that's the opening shot, he's on the scale, and then he was like, no, you just be freaked out. He would be ready to cry.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. I didn't show Nora her birth video until she was older. But I did. I tried to pry for answers. Do you remember what it was like when you were in your mommy's belly? Do you remember what it's like before you came here? And she didn't say much. But when I was in my early 20s, my college years, I had a long-term boyfriend during that time. And, my body, my choice. My future, my education was a priority. So things came to pass. And then things did not come to pass. And one thing I always told myself was it's just not the right time, but when when it's my time, I'll have a family. So that was my choice. And at some point, my daughter, I was going through old photos, and at one point there was a photo of my ex, and she was like, "Oh, Daddy," and I was like, "That man is not your father, and you know that, And I was like, "That's so weird," and it freaked me out. And then another period of time later, I'm going through pictures, and she saw a photo of his mother, and she said, "That's Grandma," and she knows her grandmother. She has never seen that woman before, and I was just like, "Oh." I was like, "You're on the wrong timeline. That was last time."
You're on the wrong timeline. You're on the multiverse.
Oh my
God.
God.
Like, how are you having, how 2 times? And you don't know these people. I've never, she was, she was maybe 3 years old when she said
Do you believe
this.
in, reincarnation?
Yeah. So that did it for me. I was like, okay, this is too much, because no way. You see photos of so many older people of our family, and you know who my mother is, you know who your dad's mother is, so why are you calling this person Grandma? Why are you calling that person? And it only happened those 2 times. Only, and never ever again.
And was it her first time seeing those
First
images?
time.
Oh,
wow. First time.
Yeah.
One time.
Okay.
I was just going through boxes, organizing, and 2 different times.
It's just instinct.
Yeah. Immediately, she just said, Yeah, and it's just as if it was just fact, and that did it for me. I was like, oh yeah, so this is the same little. You just hopped on over.
Oh my God.
She was determined. She's like,
Yeah.
you're gonna be my mom.
You're my mom.
Look. Speaking of determination, me and her dad, we were infertile. So she is a 1% chancer. Like we had.
She was like, "I'm gonna exist."
We had 0%
One way or another.
chance of conceiving, and then we started on medication, and we were bumped up to 1%.
Wow.
1%. And we were gonna go through. Probably we're preparing to go through IVF, and she was like, "Nope, I'm here." And we're like, "Oh my
She's
god!"
like, "What's
I was
up?"
like, "You saved us a lot of money."
She saw the 1%. She's like, "All I need, let's go."
All I need. That's
Let's
all
go.
I need. I'm present.
Hello.
I've been present.
I've been present.
I've just been waiting for
I've
your
been
body to
waiting
cooperate.
That's such a wow.
yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, that was a wild one. So I'll share that story with her when she's older. Like I'll let her know, hey.
Nora's right now. She's like, you said what? You said what now?
But yeah, so that I'll never forget my whole life. Like now, that sealed the deal for me. And I feel like people will always say they believe in things and their reasons. Like my mother, she's like, I saw my grandma clear as day. That's far. I believe in the afterlife. Me, that was my situation. Therefore, I believe in reincarnation. That was it for me. So none can tell me otherwise after that.
Okay, so my mom has always put out this image that she doesn't believe in that. It doesn't believe in any of this. Hello, that's probably my mom.
You talking about me?
Oh, it's actually. But like, she was always like, like I don't believe in this shit. Like it's it's whatever. She's very Catholic, so she kind of believes in demons.
Oh.
Because she's Catholic.
Convenience.
I know. She'll believe what she wants to believe. So again, when we were staying at that house, she thought I was possessed. I was on the phone with like my boyfriend at the time. It was on speaker, but I was sitting on the vanity and like plucking my eyebrows, over plucking my eyebrows, as I was wont to do. And so I was like looking, because I was like plucking like the top parts. I was like looking right in the mirror, but also on the phone. So she thought I was possessed. Because I was just like looking like this in the mirror and talking. I'm like, no, I'm on the phone. I'm like, I thought you didn't believe in this. She's like, you never know. I was like, okay. And then
Never know.
And then the house that I grew up in the Philippines was on farmland. So like when I was a kid, there was like literally our house, our next door neighbor was a chicken farmer, and nothing else. It's all field and like other farmland. And so when my dad went away for business, she would like have me and like at least one of us, like 'cause there's 3 of us, like kids, and like sleep with her in her room. So she had like my younger brother was like a baby at the time, like sleeping with her in the room, and she was like, no. She started swapping out kids. So like that was my older brother, and then like the following night she was like, "You're sleeping in the room with me." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I was like, "Oh, so I thought we were taking turns." And she was like, "No, you're sleeping with me until your dad comes back." Am I a repellent? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, was I the repellent?
Maybe.
Is that why I don't see anything?
Wow. Maybe you
Because
just
like
have
even
like ghosts
Yeah.
are like.
yeah, that was like because we were joking about it too. Just like this bitch scared.
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit,
It's
she's
her.
already fucked up.
She's already fucked up.
She's already fucked up. We don't need
Wow.
her. Yeah, it's fine. We'll leave her alone.
She's dealing with her family.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is Crystal.
Oh wait, look, Crystal.
Like the demons and aliens attacking him. Who's
Who's next? Oh my god! I got next.
Tag me.
Comes down from the spaceship. I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay, so you know, like, I don't know if it's common in other cultures, but I know for like Filipinos, like they believe, or like, at least older Filipinos believe that like, oh, that their deceased loved one comes in the form of different living creatures. Yep. So like a butterfly flies by and they're like, oh,
that's your lolo.
That's your lolo. That's your lola.
Yeah.
Like they normally say that. Or like one time my mom said that my mom has told me stories about the house that I grew up in, my grandparents' house, and like seeing their like grandma, and then there was a butterfly in the house. Like, and then my mom was like, huh? And then like, and then my mom asked her mom, and she's like, oh, that's my mom. That's your Lola. That's your Lola.
Yeah,
She's just checking on you.
That
And I was like,
that's
I'd be like, there's a butterfly in the house.
no, my brothers and I, like the amount of shit talking we give to my mom just for that shit.
Oh my god! Really?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like.
So she would say something like that too, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, like, oh, that's fucking stupid, mom.
Oh.
Like out of like pure respect, because we
Yeah.
have like a certain rapport of like how we would growing up, we would have a comfortable way of talking. But when my mom was serious, like, oh shit, we can.
Emeroy, one day you're gonna be fluttering over to your grandkid. Your grandkid's gonna be like, "That's bullshit." And you're gonna be like, "Bullshit."
you little shit. And you're like, you're slaughtering
please
your
demonstrate
as a butterfly.
You're getting
I'll
swung
comment
at.
that shit as an owl.
And you're like,
God, what the fuck is wrong with this owl?
who are you?
That's your great grandpa.
Who am I?
That's your great grandpa.
Who do you think I am, you bitch? Sorry.
So when my great grandmother died, we had to wake at the house, the big house, like the big jail.
It's ironic it's called a wig.
I know.
It's kind of,
So
can we just call it the sleep?
the big sleep. It's called the big sleep.
We're going to the sleep.
But like there was a stray cat that like made it into the house.
Oh.
And there were a lot of stray cats like around there.
No stray kids?
No stray kids.
Ha ha ha.
Okay, like the cat came to me because normally stray cats don't like me. And like the cat like came straight to me and just like sat next to me, but I'm allergic, so I started sneezing, like really loudly. But like when you sneeze, cats are like and they stood like no, cat just chilled there. And I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, it's probably your great grandma. I was like,
Oh, I'm dead. I'm gonna fuck with my granddaughter one more time.
Oh my god.
One last time. I gotta do it, God. Let me
do it. Let me be a cat too. She's allergic to them bitches.
Your
I was like,
grandkids
bitch,
are
I gave you your medicine. Now you're making me sick.
Dude, that'd be so awesome to fuck with your loved ones after you're dead.
When you're, oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
I just want to be gone.
I know. I just.
What would you guys do?
You know, okay, so I have
That's true.
this thing
And
that
like
yes,
my real
you can go.
existence.
But I think it's a choice. Like, part of me thinks like if we want to go back and hang out and see people, we can. Like a vacation.
Like vacation.
Like a vacation.
I'm gonna go. I'll be back. I'll see you guys next week. I'm gonna go see my grandkids.
No, but I don't want the chance that when I get there to visit and then something pisses me off and I become vengeful or something.
Oh shit.
You know what I mean? Like imagine
There's too much salt.
like
The dishes aren't done and you're doing the dishes.
like imagine like say if I go before my partner does and then I see that this bitch moves on with the bitch that told me not to worry about. I'd be like, oh hell no!
Julian, are you listening?
I'm about to hunt the fuck out of this motherfucker.
That's how eventually.
Like nah, man. I'm gonna poke holes in all the condoms. Like,
How long do you think that your significant other's gonna be when that happens?
Are you
hoping for an early death?
Oh, I'm 26. I already had my midlife crisis. I'm trying to leave, you guys. Like,
She's like, I'm trying to be
listen,
for a good time.
I don't want. Yeah, I'm not trying to be 90.
I understand that though, because
No,
life
'cause-
is hard now.
Yeah, 90. I'm not trying to be 90, and all my friends are dead, and I'm lonely as fuck. No one's playing video games with me no more.
The last
You know what I
one
mean?
just talking about all your buddies gone. Like no,
Yeah,
no,
dude, like talking
no,
about just seeing my grandma, like dementia, like only a shell of what you once were.
Can we
Yeah.
just?
Yeah.
And it, like,
My mom
I
says
think
that too.
now
She
and
doesn't wanna
nowadays
be
there's
80.
dignified. They're allowing for like dignified that
Assisted.
eyes.
Assisted.
Assisted.
It
So
is- it
maybe
exists
a
in- it's legal
certain
in Canada.
age, yeah, like when our time comes, like come on, give me like 30, 40 years, and then let me just
Go out with a bang.
Bye-bye.
Because
Like,
either it's
as a
like,
bang.
because if I live to 90, I would want to still be independent in the sense that I can walk, I can
Yeah.
think, I
Yeah.
can write, I can read, I
You
can
can drive.
play video games, I can see.
You can see
know?
while you're playing.
By the time you're 90, we'll have like fucking.
We'll just be living in the metaverse.
Yeah, we're living in the
Do you
members.
remember that one episode from Black
Black
Mirror?
Mirror,
Yeah. Their consciousness, like,
Yeah. I love that.
went to
I
live
love
as a
that.
young self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
but listen, we thought, or everyone in the 70s thought we would have flying cars by the 2000s,
By
and look
2001.
at us.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah,
is
the
why
metaverse.
Did we have a Space Odyssey in
This is
2001?
This is why people who at least know they have an illness have a do not resuscitate clause
Right.
quickly, because they know if something happens and I come back, you guys resuscitate me and I'm not as I was, like I want to do that. So at least we can make that choice for ourselves.
Yeah.
But if we don't have the opportunity to make that choice, and like that opportunity doesn't arise, and we just have to slowly
decay.
I would not want
Rot in the
to come
hospital?
back
I don't want it.
as unable to just
basic things.
do basic things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've thought about situations. Okay, what if I lost my eyes? What if I, lost any of the senses? Like, okay, I can live with that. But me not being able to fully be capable to move or
Or be independent.
independent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
To be independent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know, for me, I would have like so much guilt that I'm relying on this person.
No, yeah.
I think someone else
Yeah.
who has a life is sacrificing their life for me who cannot do shit for myself.
Yeah, so my grandpa, before he passed away, he basically like lost the ability to walk, and I was his caregiver post grad. So after I graduated, I was trying to go into like the job market, etc. But then my family was like, "Papa needs a caregiver. Like they'll pay you, like the state, but he needs someone, And I was like, "Cool, I'll help out." And the thing is, like I grew up with him, so like he's like a father to me because he was there when my mom was at school or when my mom was at work. And so like I'm taking care of him, clipping his nails, etc. But like sometimes he would share with me like how he feels. And because he's always been like, the patriarch of the family, he's a very generous man, is always like giving and wanting to take care of anyone that enters his home. And so it was like he felt so bad that he needed to get taken care of. His pride as a man, and then also just as a human was hit severely to where like it was like to a point where we would try to help rehabilitate, but then he got to a point where we couldn't rehabilitate him anymore. And so like sometimes he would just cry, he would just cry and then just say like, I don't want to be here anymore. And it's heart-wrenching, man. So just make me a ghost,
Just make me a ghost.
Yeah.
It's crazy because the whole like how modern medicine, like we live longer. Or, like back then, ancient times, you lived.
They're pushing us to live longer so we can just keep cranking out. We can keep working for
Keep
them.
working.
Yeah.
Keep working.
Working and keep making more.
Once we can't work, but we're ill, they're going to turn.
However,
turn
birth
their back
rates
on
in
us.
a lot of countries are declining.
Yeah.
Like Japan, Korea.
Yeah.
Because people are finally realizing like,
Well,
listen, I'm trying to make a living. I can't even pay for my rent. How am I supposed to pay for a baby?
People are not having kids anymore these days.
Yeah. 'Cause it's like,
what is it, Gen Z? They're not.
especially with a lot of how kind of crazy things are right now. I mean, as much as I like another kid, it's like it's
too much.
It's a little scary, like, because who knows how bad global warming
This is the
get.
real Halloween story.
The horror is
We're all gonna die.
The horror is reality.
Yeah.
The
There's
reality.
nothing scarier than reality.
Yeah, man. Every time I wake up, I'm like, fuck.
Like I have nightmares and I'm like, fuck.
We look at our bank account and we're like, oh shit.
It's a jump scare when you see that negative. You're like,
or I get the notification on my phone that I send in a payment for my credit card bill. It's like,
or it says like you're overdrafted.
and it's like, are you prepared for retirement?
Oh my god.
Put money in your Roth IRA.
Bro, oh my god,
yes.
I get the notification. Your credit score changed. What is it now?
To what?
Yeah.
To what?
Up or down?
No, literally, before we started doing this podcast, and you were like, "Are you okay?" I was looking at my credit score because I got a notification. I was like, "Oh god."
There has been a change to
The
your
horrors of being an adult, man.
Oh
no,
my
because there
God.
was one time I think I put something on my credit card that was like a little too expensive that it took me 2 payment cycles to actually fully pay off. And then my credit score went away. I got a notification from my bank. It's like, your credit score changed. I was like, I know, I just don't want to look at it. I'm like, but to what though? Can I still rent?
Don't tell me, please.
I'm like, can I still get an apartment?
Oh god.
I'm so dead.
It's crazy.
California is the real horror story.
You know what?
Housing is the real horror
Let
story.
me tell you.
Affordable housing.
Economy.
Economy.
People are tuning out now because we're talking, reminding them of
They're like,
Okay,
saving for scary stories, not my reality.
Halloween.
This
I
is
know my
scary.
reality is scary.
The scariest story is the one you're living in.
That's facts. So
Honestly.
this is where I'm leaving. Everyone knows we're leaving.
I don't know.
We can
To
leave
Denmark.
Is that's rolling?
We can
Is-
leave
that's
America.
rolling. It's
Oh,
on
we're
the top
talking
right.
to this-
Either way, because the whole recession's happened. God,
Yeah.
this is
Oh,
getting-
God.
we're getting real on this shit.
Look. And what's also very scary, like when I drive, I'm an accountant, but I also, because I have a mission of leaving this country and living elsewhere, because I don't want a life like this, I have side jobs. So one of them is Lyft and Lyft Assist. I help elderly, and then I also regular Lyft. And whenever I'm driving through the city, though, especially downtown LA, I call it Gotham City. And whenever
Honestly,
and I call it Gotham City, and then I also, in my mind, I perceive it as like The Walking Dead. Because whenever I'm driving, especially at night, like you can see the people in the street just slowly moving and creeping. And you know they're not going to make it soon. Like these streets are just full of literal Walking Dead people. Like very soon they're going to be out. And that's what we live in. Every day, that's what we see. I'm sure it's the same in New York.
Oh, definitely.
But
New York.
yeah, like
Walking
it's-
Dead as in like they're like alive but not.
they're
They're
alive,
not-
but
yeah.
they're soon gonna
They're
be
not gonna
gone.
make it.
Yeah, they're not.
Especially during the winter in New York.
You
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
people,
The
you
homeless
see
people,
you see the state they're in, and it's like, ugh, you know,
Yeah.
they don't
I'm
have
just trying
long.
to get like a clear definition because they're like they mentally just don't look like you're not gonna make it here in California.
No, like health wise.
They're not gonna make
like the home-
They're not gonna stay alive for that
Yeah,
long.
Yeah, like
Okay.
your joints are doing this, or they're like,
Uh-huh.
like
Okay.
you feel,
Yeah.
like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
what's going on there?
I was taking a sort of a metaphorical, philosophical sense of like, this person doesn't look like they're happy with themselves.
Nope.
Yeah.
Literal Walking Dead. Like they're moving, so like they're ill and they're on the streets and they're on things and they're hungry and they're thin and you know that person's not gonna make it long. Walking Dead, and that's our reality. That's it.
You know what? What's a good place? That's okay. Obviously not America, but a great great places for like elderly is what I've seen from where I've traveled is like places like Europe and places like Asia that have really good public transportation because
Oh my
gosh.
Yes.
because even if you're old, you can still move around and travel, and
Yeah.
also because of public transportation, people are so used to walking all the time, so they're
Yeah,
good
so they're
healthy.
But when you
Yeah.
when you need assistance, because I have a lot of really great friends out around the world and in Europe. When you're elderly and you are in need of assistance, there's universal health care. Nurses will come to your home and take care of you.
That's nice.
You don't have to worry about if you can afford assisted living for your parents. They're gonna they're gonna come and they're gonna. So I go there. I go to Europe every other month just to get out of America because it's very stressful. And I see them. I see the nurses all the time, every day, going to people's houses, doing the house calls. It's just a normal thing.
Yeah,
And,
when I was in Asia, both in China and in Korea, just old people hanging out.
Yeah.
Like they're just at the park and
Working out at the park.
Working out. They're working. They're playing chess. They're rolling dice.
Yeah.
They got the aunties. The grandmas doing their tai chi in the corner.
Yeah.
Like bro, I feel like, especially from observing my grandparents and the grandparents of my friends, they're like on the couch at home watching TV in the dark. Like that's what my grandma does. It's like she has to drive to see her friends, and then you have to call. But they'd be like, "Hey, park at 2 p.m. See you tomorrow." Like I gets on the train, walks over. And then I'm doing Tai Chi with my friends, if that's like what elderly living is like somewhere else, I would rather be there.
That's why I'm leaving. I don't want. I'm leaving because I'm scared to get old in America. I'm scared to retire here. I'm susceptible of different things, and I have faith that if I stay here, by the time I retire, I will be sick, and I will, and I'll be, Nora will have to take care of me, and I want better for myself in my second half of life. So that's why I'm leaving.
My parents are retiring in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Like in 2 years. They're like, they sat me and my older brother down because, like, at that point, we're still living with them. He's still living there. And they're just like, so you guys have 2 years to figure out your own housing because we're retiring and selling the house. And, like, they're going back to the Philippines. And I was like, I don't need 2 years. But I'm like, you know what? Fair. Because, like, healthcare, even if it's not universal healthcare in the Philippines, it's still a lot cheaper. Like, my parents specifically have connections. So, like, even if they don't have, like, a big house or if we don't even get, like, our house back, like they can still afford to live there.
And traditionally, you take care of,
And we have relatives there that could take care of them if they need to.
Here, you're
the whole community aspect I've noticed, like being for me, like in the Philippines or even Jamaica when I went there, like the community was huge. I think what you guys were saying, just the ease of access to go to where you feel like you belong. I think that's one of the things that vibe with us is like we can go to, like say, if we're in a company, but if we can go to like a rehearsal, you feel like you belong. But here in America, it just sounds like the older we get, the
Everyone's
less we
out for
have
themselves.
community.
and it's our
It's
kids.
hard.
Our kids can't. They don't have the luxury to be able to take care of us. Us, for our own parents, we're stressed trying to take care of ourselves. We are not able. We don't have the ability to take care of our aging parents like they did for theirs.
Yeah,
We're trying to take care of ourselves right now in our kids.
Yeah, my mom says I'm trying, like I don't want to be a burden to you guys.
Yeah, so no, that's what my parents said too. Like, as strained as personally my relationship with my parents are, there's like, no, we're not going to make you do that. Like, what they're doing right now for, my mom's parents, not because both my dad's parents are not with us. But yeah, they were just like, the things that we're doing for your grandma and grandpa, I don't want you doing, like, we don't want you doing that for us.
It's because we seem so much younger at our age now than what our parents were at our age. Because back then, at our age, they had homes and one person worked and the other took care of the kids. And they're like 5 kids. And,
my grandma at my age already had 4 kids and no, 5. She had my mom already, who's the youngest, and she had Navy husband moving around, and 2 kids in Japan, and then one. My mom was born here in California, so it's just like dang, I can't imagine me.
In a sense,
5 kids popped out of here.
Yeah.
Like a lot of, they're still, even our parents are still assisting us in ways sometimes still.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I need to move. I'm going to need to stay at your place for a little bit.
I mean, I think it goes to the whole thing that they say that I want a better life for my kids. It might not be better for us right now, but sure as hell, relative to them, way better than where they're at. So
At least
in a
slightly
sense, our
easier.
lives are sitting on top of their shoulders from what they went through for us to be here.
Yeah.
And essentially, what our current kids are like, they're gonna have the much better life at least. Like as we, fingers crossed, things get better. I forgot what the book called. I didn't read it, so forgive me if anyone watching or listening, if I butcher it. But it's something called The Fourth Turn. We're at a point in society where there's zero trust in government. Everything is chaotic. But then when it resets, there's trust again in the community. Trust in the government's actually doing its job. So like the first turn was essentially like the 50s. We're in the fourth turn now. There's essentially everyone's like, fuck the government.
Yeah.
Communities.
It's like
separation.
it's all like it's up to you, like you're like on your own type of thing.
So eventually, and it happens the first, second, third. All these turns happen every like generation or so, like every 20 years. So we're in the fourth turn. Once we reset, it'll be another. We'll have established trust and whatever resets the grand scheme of things.
This will be better for our kids, hopefully, because
because I think like it is chaotic as bad as it is. If humans were really truly pieces of shit, we would have nuked each other already. Yeah. And we would have
it's not us. We're not. Not everybody's evil.
Not everyone.
Humans just have a hard time adjusting to change. So, yeah.
True. Yeah. So ghosts.
So anyway,
Odd Thomas was the movie, and I have a clip on my phone. I pulled it up.
What was it?
Odd Thomas.
Odd Thomas.
Have any of you guys ever had readings? Or
Of course, I do them.
I have.
My sister does them professionally. She has for years and years and years, and her readings for me are so exact that when I don't want to know the truth, I don't have her give me readings.
That's how it was for me when I got mine read. It was like, wow, you're like reaching into my soul right now. Like I was like, I don't know if this is just something I need to hear or something, but like, I'm like, wow, you're really good. Like, because my friend was the one that did the reading for me, and we weren't like super close or anything, so she doesn't know like exactly like my backstory or we were just like dance teammates. And so when she was like saying all this shit, I was like, dang.
I've always been interested in tarot readings.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I had a friend do one for me, and Yeah, like I think it's kind of the same. We weren't like super close or anything. Like we were just in college together, and then she literally got up and hugged me.
Oh.
Because she like I personally was going through a lot, but like she didn't know about it. But like I think it was okay. I was sexually assaulted when I was 19, so it was right. I didn't tell anyone. Like nobody knew until I was like 23. So like I got a tarot reading, and she didn't say anything. She didn't tell me what any of that meant. I forgot what the cards were. She just got up and hugged me, and she said, "It's gonna be okay."
Damn.
I was like,
Wow.
"What?"
Jesus.
What?
Oy.
And the thing is, like, I was skeptical, like, you know, because I, again, raised by my mother who like only believed in certain things, and I was just like, oh, it's probably not real. This is bullshit or whatever. But like, I went into it still kind of like with an open mind, but like a little skeptical. And then she hugged me and then said it was gonna be okay. I was like, I didn't say anything to her, did I?
Yeah.
She didn't ask me any questions.
That's wild.
She didn't ask me like she asked me how I was. Said good, thanks. How are you? Like that was it. And I'm like.
Wow.
No, I think I remember like for my reading, I like started like tearing up towards the end because I was like, we're really getting in there. But I haven't gotten a reading since, and it was Fanbiz retreat.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
Someone in Fanbiz could do.
Yeah, May.
Really?
Mm.
I gotta talk to her.
Yeah.
Get one.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so much
I don't
fun.
know when the last time she did a reading, but she did a great job of mine.
She's like, she's like.
She like flips the card. Ew.
Oh, we'll put him back.
I'm
We're just gonna pretend we didn't see that.
I did it. She throws it.
Throws the whole
Seems
deck
like
out.
The whole concept of the universe, kind of, or whatever, speaking through this. I'm like, that's kind of like one of the reasons I like flipping coins.
I always just thought because, you know, you wanted to be Kanao.
No.
You wanted to be what?
Kanao?
So she can,
Oh, because she flips a coin.
yeah, but I've thought of that. Okay, like I don't know. For say I'm having a hard time deciding food. All right, God, what should we eat? I'm like,
God,
and I get it like,
Okay.
fuck you.
Do you listen to it?
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah. Do you?
yes.
listen? Yeah.
Most of the time, yes.
Most of the time he does.
For me,
Sometimes
really funny.
he'll try to stack it though.
Sometimes I go like sometimes
He'll
like,
try to
okay,
stack it.
we'll go to game 7, okay?
Oh my god.
Best 4 out of 7.
4 out of
And it goes
7.
like fucking like tails, heads, yes, tails. Fuck, man.
There was one time like we never were talking. I think he was like debating whether he was gonna stream the next day or not. It's like, should I stream tomorrow? I'm kind of tired. Should I stream? No. I was like, flip a coin, and then it said no, and he was like, let's try again.
Oh my god.
For me, when I flip a coin, if I get an answer I don't like, I'm like, that's the right answer. Like,
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
because then so like if I flip it and I'm like, say it's tails, but I want it to be heads, I'm like, I'll do what I did for heads. Because if I'm like upset or disappointed, then that's like clearly what I actually want.
Yeah.
I of that as well. I was like, okay, but I really want, like, for example, like I've done the whole streaming flip a coin thing. Is like, but I generally need to sleep. Actual like, yeah. There's like, I almost feel like here's an opinion, but there's also what you want.
Do you think the universe hid your mini tripod for a reason the other night?
Oh my
But we
god.
couldn't find it.
No, that was just probably reckless putting shit away.
I
universe put it in there.
I love when people try to logic your way out of
Do
like
you
the
think
signs.
the universe decided to put your mini tripod under a bunch of shit?
The universe
So you
reminded
could
me to
sleep
put
that
my
one
shit
night?
my shit away properly.
I have them.
Not in the fucking laundry basket.
Oh yeah, it's the lucky basket.
Speaking of tarot, I have one funny thing. My sister, she does well in life. She's a successful woman. So she paid for one of the, maybe not world's best, but definitely one of the best tarot readers in the United States. He books over a year in advance.
Wow.
She booked him over a year in advance and a lot of money for this reading. And during her reading, he stopped and he was like, hold on, I have something else coming through. And he's like, it's for one of your sisters.
Oh wow.
And he had a full-on message from me. He gave the description, and we have 12 siblings. He gave a description, and it was me. And he was like, this is what's going to happen. She's like this. He listed, and she's like, oh, that's definitely Crystal. And he basically said, like,
Shit.
you know, yeah, I was like,
Yep,
she's
that's her.
quirky, nerdy, you know, and he said that, one, he was like, she's very tiny. She's going to lose a lot of weight. I lost 70 pounds. This was like maybe 2 years or a year before the reading. And a year before I lost the weight. And then he talked about someone I was going to meet. And he's basically said I was going to have another kid, though. He's like, tell her to be careful if she's not planning to have another.
Oh,
He's like, because I see another. I was like, oh no.
He was like, she fertile.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I gotta be careful. So that's still what he said is like the timeline has been going. So I'm keeping a very close eye because this was recorded. Obviously, if it's a year in advance, you pay a lot of money. You want to remember this reading.
Yeah.
So I have the recording of the message that came through for me. So I'm just like check marking everything, like boop. Boop,
That's
boop,
great.
boop.
Wow.
But she was sitting there like, for real? Like, be for real.
Wow.
But fuck my sister though.
But
Yeah, she's
I
like,
paid for this.
I
booked
a
you.
year in
For this
advance.
time, I get the extra time for me? For me?
Yeah, like, what, 20 minutes talking about my sister?
The way she called
Yeah.
me and was like, so.
anyway, you came up.
You always ruin everything.
Yeah.
God.
God,
you're out to get me.
Oh my god.
What?
Okay, all right, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed.
That was scary.
Enjoy.
Boom,
Halloween.
reality.
Enjoy the scary reality. We'll see you guys in
Jump scare.
I can't speak. Bye.
Instant jump scare.
Jump scare now.